Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Hello, guys. All right.
Welcome to RickyVillaTV, care of Spurswation TV and Shelfside Spurs. How are we all today, Eugene and Kevin?
I'm good, bright and bushy-tailed.
Chief Curmudgeon, what does that mean?
Head moany bastard. Old man who's always moaning. Yeah, that's me.
Old man shouts at cloud. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Shouts at cloud, right? Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm doing well. We've got one toe into the finals, so yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Right? It's been a good week for Spurs, right? Even though there were a bit of, we'll get into it later. Yeah. But I hope all you guys are well. The weather is good in the on your side of the pond, right? It's been I don't know, a bit wet, a bit hot, and a bit everything here. Yeah,
but it's still raining over there. Wow.
Yeah, it's still raining over here.
Okay.
I don't know. Something's wrong with the weather.
Oh.
Yeah, you blame Mr. Trump for that.
No, I can't blame Trump for that, right? Ange will blame Trump for that, but not us.
So it's big up everyone. Leave it out from Eugene.
Always. Yeah.
Lovely jubbly. Right. Going to start off with almost on this day in Spurs history. So May 1st, 1999, the Kings debut.
Yeah.
Against Liverpool. At Anfield, we did our usual, well, not our usual, but we were 2-0 up, and then Tarico got sent off. Ledley came on at half-time, and of course we lost 3-2.
Yeah.
But definitely an interesting lineup there, because we got Roger Nilsson playing as a centre-back. I think that was one of only 2 games that he played for us. I think he played for Sheffield United beforehand. So it was Walker in goal, Nilsson and Campbell centre-back. Stephen Carr and Tarico as left and right back. Freund, Anderton in the middle. Probably Stephen Clements as well. Dominguez on I think he was the left. Armstrong maybe on the right, and Everson up front. Best manager we ever had, Tim Sherwood, came off the bench, as did Rolf Fox.
Rolf Fox, that was a good name.
Yeah. And Jamie Carragher scored his obligatory own goal against us, and I don't believe he spat on anyone, so that was good.
Yeah.
So, were you at that one, Kev?
No, I wasn't actually. No, afraid not.
No.
I'd stopped going to the away games by then. I'd only picked out a few home games now and again.
Oh, okay.
In the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't. We did win the cup that year, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So
1999.
Yeah.
League Cup?
Worthington League Cup, yeah.
The worthless cup, yeah.
Nielsen header in the last minute.
Yes, yeah. And yet another Dane doing it for the Tottenham. Okay, so let's move on to the match on Thursday. Spurs 3, Bodo Glimt 1. Absolutely brilliant start from Johnson. Although, to be honest, the goalie almost saved it. He almost headed it straight at him, didn't he?
Yeah.
But, then a easy. Well, yeah, I think he mishit it, really, didn't he, Maddison? But it slid in the far corner. And then a penalty from Solanke. And unfortunately, they got a goal back in the 83rd minute, which was kind of poor defending and came off. Cool. Which there seems to be a lot of negativity around the club about that. You saw that in your watch along, Eugene. What did you think about that? Because it was one of your positively mental watch alongs, wasn't it? Everybody was positive. Guy, Dan, Danalist. You were having a great time. So
yeah, that's true, right? To be honest, right, the game was a bit. I don't know. I think. Big up, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Hope you're doing well.
Chris.
I think it's something to do with I don't know. Spurs have got PTSD. Most of our fans, so we fear the unknown, right? So that's how I see it after the game. But during the game, of course, I was going positively deluded. That's my stance on all the Europa League games now until we reach the final, right? Depending who we're going to play, we'll find out on Thursday. And of course, how I see this now is that, like I said, we do have a big toe into that door, right? But of course, we gave them an opening too, because I found it weird is that even when Bodo were 2-0 down, right, they were comfortable. They were like accepting it to go down 2-0 against us at our ground. And they didn't actually play too hard until we got that third goal. Then, of course, they put on the pressure a bit. And of course, like what Spurs usually do is that we, concede a goal, right, whenever we get attacked, right? So that goes down to the defending. The only thing is that I didn't understand why Ange continued with his more attacking kind of substitutions. He could have. It's either you do those substitutions and go out and smash that team, right? Or you do the changes and actually hold up fort, like what he did in Frankfurt. But I guess maybe he didn't have that choice because I think he sees that he's at home and he can't show that he's going to be going back to the old ways of Conte or Mourinho. But the weird part is that the overall game, that's what I saw. I saw Mourinho ball and Conte ball in the end, more than Ange ball, because based on statistics and all that, we only had 42% possession. That's the first thing, right? And they I think they had more passes than us. So yeah, that's how I
if you just tuned into that game and you didn't know what the score was, you would have thought that they were ahead, because they seemed to had a lot, as you say, a lot more possession. They seemed very cool, calm, and collected on the ball. Didn't panic. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think we didn't really play that well, but they didn't. They weren't great either. What's that?
Me.
Okay. So it's I don't know. As you say, with the PTSD bit, I would have been a lot more comfortable going in there, 3 goals up. But what was it that John said last week? Even if we do have a big lead, or if we do have a big lead, we'll go into it and think we've won it already. So what?
Maybe that goal that Bodo has scored, right, actually maybe has, not to say dampen our confidence or anything, right? Maybe it could be a wake-up call for us to be more cautious when we go over there and play them, and not be so arrogant and think that we're going to go over there and stroll over them, because we stroll over them in the Spurs Stadium, right? But to tell the truth, I don't care, right? We beat them 3-1. We've got one toe into the finals, right? So as I see it at this moment in time, I'm going to be savoring it, right? I'm not happy yet because, we're still not in the finals yet. When we reach the finals, yes, then if we beat them at their home ground, or we draw with them, or we get through even with a loss, right? I'll be happy then, because we'll be in the finals. At this moment now, as I see this game, right, it's like one step ahead, and let's hope that we take that second step into the finals. That's how I see it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts, Kev?
Well, their manager the day before the game said he was hoping to come away with a 3-1. So that come true. That's like, wow. He would be happy with losing 3-1, because he knew he could take them back to their place and deal with it from there. Which, but as Eugene just said now, he's happy with the win. And I think probably 70 or 80% of the people in the crowd the other night were the same as well. It was a bit of a letdown. But what can you say? It's a minor blip, and hopefully we can get away with it. That's all you can hope for, really.
No, but it was a weird thing, right? Because Stel was at the ground, right? When we were up 3-0, right? The atmosphere was crazily good for us. But when that one goal went in, right, the whole stadium went silent again. So our fans, like I said before, right, the PTSD thing is real, right? And where's one of the two things that we can't escape, right? Being a Spurs fan for so long. You get what I'm saying? We you know, like what you were showing just now, right? The Liverpool game in 1999, right? We were 2-0 up, and then we go down, we lose 3-2. So it's a lot of things that whenever we go into, it's like, you know, it's the history of Tottenham, Spurs, and all that. It comes back. And I don't blame a majority of fans who feel that way, right? I've been through it. Kev, you've been through it. Jens, we all been through it, right? The ups and downs of being a Spurs fans. I mean, a lot of the younger Spurs fans have not actually even experienced glory before, right? So I'm not sure whether they will understand the feeling of what, you know, the games that we've seen us play and how we react to it. But let's hope this is the turning point and the changes that comes into the mentality of the team is, right? And to be honest, right, I don't care who we meet in the final if we reach the final, right? And to tell the truth, I would prefer Manchester United. So at least I've been saying it, right? Beat them 4 times in a season, win a cup while doing it, and rub it into their nose for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But of course, the positivity, and of course, you know, because the Europa League games, I'm going to be positively deluded for it. It doesn't matter how it goes, right? And even during this game on Thursday, right? Like I said, the thing is that Spurs fans' expectations for Spurs is very weird. You guys, you know, we always have to play this attractive, attacking football to win games, right? I don't mind winning games if we are shit. Just don't win them, right? We must take that mentality away. That's why when we had Jose, Nuno, and Conte, right, the fan base turned on them. You get what I'm saying? Hey, Mr. K, big up. Hope you're doing well, Mr. K. All right. Hope you're having a good Sunday over there. All right.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Sorry, it's afternoon in the Netherlands, but it's good morning in sunny London to you, Mr. K. How are you, sir?
Yeah. Join us if you want to. Yeah.
So the Maddison and Solanke going off with knocks. What do we think about that? Do we think they're going to be fit?
I'm hoping it's preventative measures. You know, I haven't followed it really, to be honest. But I'm only thinking that I get them off for safety, you know, for the second leg. Hopefully it's going to be, well, I think there's going to be a scratch team out today. So we'll talk about that later anyway. But hopefully they're not going to put stress on them again, you know. But come back to the game. We lack that tenacious bit where we just go all out and score. We missed so many chances the other night, you know. We could have had 5 or 6, you know, and it would have been put to bed. That was the annoying thing about it for me. But injuries-wise, it's always going to happen with our lot. I don't know if they're too highly strung physically or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
But how I see this now, right, I've got this funny feeling, right, is that why is Bodo, right, so confident, right, of taking a 2-goal deficit back to their home ground, right, and thinking that they're going to just overrun us, you see? Yeah. That's the thing, that their fans were actually very, very, you know, adamant that, you know, they're not afraid of the 2-goal deficit. And it showed on the pitch, right? Jens, we were watching the game together, right? When we were 2-0 up, right? Bodo wasn't actually like interested of pushing forward to score that goal. Jens, you know, and they slowed the game down, and of course we slowed the game down, and that game turned out to be a bit of a damn squib. Apart from the 3 goals that we scored, right? They weren't exciting moves, and then especially when we were doing the watch along with Dan and Guy, and then Dan was saying that, you know, it's all moments, right? And to tell the truth, in football, predominantly, it's always all moments. You get what I'm saying? You can create all the chances that you have, right? Which I've seen that before. Remember the 1-0 loss against Newcastle when Dubravka put up he had 26 saves, shots on goal saved, right?
That was Tim Krul, wasn't it?
Was it Tim Krul? Oh, sorry, Tim Krul. Yeah, 26 shots on goal saved and all that. And then we foreplayed them. You know, the foreplay was forever, but we never entered.
Penetration.
Story of my life. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, but when we do, a different style of football, to tell you, can any one of us say that we played Ange ball in that game? That's the only thing I could say.
When was the last time we played it?
We haven't played Ange ball in forever, I think, right? But once in a while, the glimpse of it. That's why a lot of Spurs fans says that Ange, if he gets what he wants, he might be able to make it consistent. But to tell the truth, after 2 years of inconsistency, nearly 2 years of inconsistency, right, there is always a limit there. But of course, we ain't going to talk about the league, because once we talk about the league, then most probably we'll move over to the West Ham game, and we'll have a lot of ideas on the West Ham game, right? To tell the truth.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, does he stay or does he go if we win the whole thing?
I think he'll go. I think they've got someone lined up already, I think.
To tell you the truth,
You reckon we're actually that proactive? Nah.
Only
when it comes to hotels.
I don't know. To tell the truth, does he stay or does he go? Right? If we win, right? If we win first, let's get to the juncture when we win first, or if we win first, right? Then only I'll think of does he stay or does he go. But if he does win us this cup, I would give him a bit of leeway, because to tell the truth, even though he's not the best manager that we've ever had, but he's at least the most successful manager in the past 16 years or 17 years that we've ever had. He deserves another chance. And maybe now if you take away, because we hear that, the Don is coming back, and most probably Mann and Lange will be put to the side, right? Maybe Paratici and Ange might be able to work out something. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe they will have clash of, ideologies, and, things will go downhill from there. But I will give him at least 5 games or 10 games to see whether he's learned to adapt, or he's still going to be as stubborn as ever. And, that's who we are, mate.
Yeah, the problem is, though, if we give him 5 games or whatever next season, then we could be well behind, looking even to get a Europa place.
Yeah, that's always the way, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not sure that I'd do that. But Mr. K said, I don't remember any Conte ball or Mourinho ball. So what's wrong with manager having a style? I don't think it's there's anything wrong with it, but it's got to be a successful style. He took everybody by surprise in the first 10 games, and then unfortunately the injuries happened, and that is as much Levy's fault, because he didn't give him good cover, and so you had Emerson Royal and Ben Davis. Now Ben Davis, that he's going to give you 110% every game, but he can't play the same way that Romero and VDV were playing in that first game. So I just believe that I'm not sure. Sorry.
Ben Davis can give 200%, but it still be about 30% on the levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have his moments too. Ben Davis, I'm not saying he's a crap defender, but he'll have his moments too. Right? But then he'll have a lot of bozo moments too. You see, that's the problem, is that somehow or another our defense have a lot of bozo moments at the moment, and we did see it during the Bodo game at home, right? That's why I was saying, right, Bodo, if they came at us, right, in that game, right, that scoreline might have changed, right, to something different. We might have scored a few more goals. It could have ended 4-2, 3-2, or something else. But somehow or another, I don't know. Will you categorize it as arrogance? You guys, that they are so arrogant that they don't mind being 2-0 down to bring it back to the North Pole.
You could, yeah. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but yeah, I think you could say that is arrogance. It's, having looked at the weather forecast, it's going to be 8 degrees and cloudy. So it's not anything that our players are not used to. It's not as if we're going to be playing in, sub freezing levels, and we're not going to be playing in sub-Saharan levels either. So it's something that any English player should be used to, or any player in the Premiership should be used to. The only thing is that they think their big advantage is their plastic pitch. And it could well be. We have a plastic pitch at our training ground, but obviously we don't really play full-on matches there, do we?
Yeah.
So...
No, the AstroTurf conundrum it comes back to because maybe a lot of the fans have seen what we did with Tamworth, right? And I know it took us 100 minutes to score an own goal against a non-league side. So that is what I categorize as PTSD, right? Going in with the fear of not the fan base will have the PTSD, to tell the truth. I just hope the players don't, right? And the players will have the confidence of going there. And it doesn't matter how many what's the attendance of the stadium, because I think their stadium maximum you could put in is what 8,000.
8,270.
Yeah, and then according to the UEFA rules, based on percentage wise, I think the maximum away fans that we will get will be about 500. So
yeah, I think I remember reading we got 400.
Yeah, 400. I know maybe some of us might, but to tell the truth, guys, the town that they're in or the village they're in, right, has got only 40,000 inhabitants. Our stadium has got more capacity than that. Imagine that, right? So I'm very sure their fans will be up for it because it's history in the making for them, because they are the only Norwegian side to ever reach the semi-finals. You see, so that I see it in that sense. So I don't think how would you say whether our players will acclimatize immediately, right? Because don't forget we've got all these spoiled brats who are flying in first class, living in 5-6 stars hotels, right? All of a sudden you arrive in a village in Bodo, right? What are the facilities there for them? That's my question, right? And the best part is that, has anyone seen their changing room yet?
Supporter cabin.
Probably.
Right? Yeah. I don't think it's as bad as a porter cabin, right? But maybe that's the plus part is, right? We've been at Tamworth. Remember the Tamworth changing room we saw?
Yeah.
It couldn't fit all our, the bench couldn't fit all our squad, couldn't fit our whole team, the medical team had to sit somewhere on the side. They put up extra benches and all that, but I don't think it'd be that bad at Bodo. Right? There should be some UEFA kind of standards there, right?
Yeah. But looking at the hotels in Bodo, I think we'll probably be staying at this one, the Wood Hotel Bodo, which is it's in a massive sort of kind of forest. Got a fitness center, free private parking, and a restaurant. We'll probably take that one over, I would have thought. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Are there any bears in that part of the woods?
Are there any bears that shit in the woods? Did you say?
No, in that part of the woods. No, I'm afraid that maybe if the bears came out and surrounded the cabin, and then we don't turn up for the match.
Yeah. Well, if the bears don't get you, the wolves will get you.
Exactly. Yeah.
The wolves, yeah.
They'll only eat James Maddison. It'll be fine.
No. Yeah.
So, man of the match. What do we reckon?
To tell the truth, right now, it's so hard to pick a man of the match for.
Solanke, I'll go for his running ability all through the match and making him put himself about. He's back to where he was, I think.
For me, it's a throw between Bissouma or Bentancur, right? So if because Bentancur put up a good show, but at least I'm not sure whether they're being played in their proper style of play that they're used to. Big up, Nate. Big up, right?
Nice to see that.
Yeah. So the man of the match. So hard to pick one nowadays, right? So just give it to Benny. Yeah, I'll just give it to Benny. Oh, he had a fantastic shot, right? The goalkeeper saved that.
Yeah, that was a good save.
Yeah,
that was a great save.
Yeah. That was a great save.
I'm actually going to go for Maddison because I think while he was on the pitch,
he was pulling a lot of strings. Yeah, he was.
He was very lively. I'm to be honest, I'm really. When we used to have VDV and Romero at the back, I used to feel quite confident, but there just seems to be a lack of effort from Romero and I wouldn't say a lack of effort from VDV, but I think he's just scared of getting injured again.
Yeah.
That could be another part of it, yeah.
They don't fill me with confidence anymore, especially when you've got Porro playing, who basically wants to be a right winger.
Yeah.
Udogie was okay. He seems to be getting back to something resembling his early form when he first moved here. But I'm still surprised that he's dropped Spence. Now, I don't think that Spence's form has dropped off that much, as much as Porro's did. And so I find that interesting. I know he got another assist. But yeah, I do like my wing backs to be able to defend as well, and I don't think Porro that is one of his strengths, is it? But
I think for Ange's right, he's got this thing in his mind, right, that he has got his first 11, and if they come back, right, they will take priority over the others. So you're talking about like Archie Gray, right, and Spence, right. These youngsters, and of course, it's so sad that Bergwell is now out for the rest of the season. It would have been wonderful for him to experience the semifinals, right? But that's who we are, mate, right? So we over, to tell the truth, we're coming to a juncture of the end of the season. We're in the semifinals. You should at least adapt your training methods a bit. You get what I'm saying? And not try to get your players injured in training. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even so, is that don't even train them. Let them do light work and all that. Basic football, watch videos, right? Get the mental part up there. No, but he still goes out there and let them run at 1,000 miles an hour, do whatever they want to do, and that's the results you get. Maybe that's why VDV is skeptical of his own abilities at the moment, right? Because while he's doing training, he's putting up so much, and then when he goes to the game, he has to put up so much too. So, but all I can say is now, right, guys, it doesn't matter. On Thursday, it's going to be another really positively diluted watch-along game, right? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We have to go in that kind of mentality, right? Yeah. No matter what happens, right? I don't even want to care who's our final opponent is. Just as long as get there, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. So Nathan's saying, thought Richie was great till Ange took him off. God only knows why. I'm not sure if he's trying to bed him back in or, because he's worried he's going to get injured again, because we do kind of need him for the next week at least to stay fit. So, but it's a good point from Mr. K. When you tell a centre-back to not use his natural game because you don't want red cards, it's expected he'll be a touch less in challenging tackles. That is true.
It goes to say for Bissouma too, right? When after Bissouma, I think was it during the first 10 games, right? When after Bissouma got that red card against Chelsea during that game, right? When he came back, he was a totally different player.
Yeah, that's true. If the player's clever enough, they'll figure out to never visit the medical department.
Yeah, that's true.
Fans are completely delusional, thinking that train under Ange leads to more injuries. We have a long list of injuries. Goldfish moment by the fans. I'm not 100% sure that it's the training. I think it's the way that we play matches. That is, I understand. Yeah, we have a long history of injuries. I'm not sure that this.
Guys, did you watch the training session where Mason was doing it? Right?
No.
Did you watch that? I should get that video from Stell and send it to you guys. Right? Mason says this, right? Just kick the ball into space. It doesn't matter whether there's anyone there or not. I was going, what?
Right. Straight out of Harry Redknapp handbook. Yeah.
Mason in. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
No, the thing is that we are fans. We speculate, right? We are not part of the what called the football team and squad and all that. We don't have the inside knowledge of what they do and what they don't do during training sessions and all that. But there was a video that came out that what Mason said, and that I don't know, maybe that was taken out of context, right? But if that's really true, that's why we keep seeing Brenda kicking balls in whenever there's no one in the middle of the pitch. He runs down the wing and he just crosses it in. He doesn't look up, right? But isn't the basic coaching is that, right? Use your eyes.
Yeah.
See what you're doing.
And your brain.
Yeah, and your brain. That's why the whole season we're watching this brainless, blind football, right? So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about the first leg, or should we move on to today?
I was amazed with the fans. I must admit, the fans were great.
Yeah.
In the stadium.
And our T4 was much better than somebody else's T4, right? So.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, right? That didn't look like a T4. That looked like a curtain.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
But, North London forever and all that, mate.
Yeah, you can't even get your curtain correct.
Fucking dickheads, anyway. Right, so there's a little matter of a game against a team who really seem to dislike us. West Ham. Otherwise known as Olympic FC.
Yeah.
So I think there'll probably be some changes, and I think he will rest Bentancur, so I'm going to change Bentancur for Gray, but I am predicting Vicario in goal, Spence, Davis, Danso. Oh no, I put Gray at right back. Sorry, yeah. So Gray at right back, or I don't know. Yeah, Sarr, Bentancur, Basuma in the middle, Tell, Johnson, and Richie up front. What do we think about that, chaps?
Okay, I've got the exact same back four. Sorry, Eugene.
Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead first.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same. Spence, Danso, Davis, and Gray. I've got exactly the same money, but I put Kinski in goal. Actually, I've just got a funny feeling rest Vic today.
Yeah,
I've got Papsar, Basuma, and Kulu.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think he'll only have half a game, maybe, if he does play.
Yeah.
Up front, I've got Richie, Tell, and Moore. Resting Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, it's very simple, right? I don't care. Right? Rest the whole bloody first team, right? Put out the youth academy out there. But if you go on the lineup, I don't mind Kinski in goal, what Kev is saying, right? Gray on the right, and then Spence on the left. In the center, of course, Danso and Davis will come in, right? In midfield, I'll tell the truth, right? I'll find some youth or academy to throw them in there, right? Maybe Sarr will be there. Basuma might need the games, but I don't know. Will he get injured? And that's the only thing, right? That's another thing that we can't risk Basuma getting injured now, because how would you say with Bergwall out, right? And of course, you're talking about Benny. I'll rest Benny. And Madison, I guess he'll be rested because he's got a slight knock, right? Yeah. But I don't know. Put in who do we have from midfield as from our youth side? Do we have Ajayi or Oluseyi or someone who can go in there? Yeah, put him in, right? On the front three, right? I'll rest all our main front threes, right? I'll put Moore on the left. I'll put Scarlett in the center, right? And on the right, I don't know. Who can we pick up from the youth, right? Donnelly or somebody?
I think Ajayi plays on the right, doesn't he? I think he's left or right winger. Ajayi.
Yeah. Put them there, right? To tell the truth, then of course put the senior players on the bench, right? Because they'll be there to give moral support to the youngsters. That's how I see it, right? Or maybe if Son, right, is coming back to fitness, then I'll move more to the right, put Son back on the left, right? Let them have a run out. You get it? Yeah, that's how I see it. I don't care. Or you put the under 21s out there, right? Under 18s or under 15s, let them have a go.
But this is an interesting one from Nathan. Play Reggie at left back and Spence at right back. Now, Reggie doesn't seem to be getting a lot of a look in, and we probably want to put him in the shop window, although no one seems to be interested.
That's a good idea too, right? But the thing is that we have to go to the Twilight Zone to look for Reggie.
What you mean, Highbury?
Oh, that's the wrong place, right?
Gray in midfield, and then he said, "Then bring back Timo." Joke.
Where is Timo? Anyone seen him?
No.
Timo's been
Timo
flushed
season
back to
7
Germany. Yeah.
Sorry?
Timo's been flushed back to Germany, I think. Yeah. I know.
But you can guarantee we still paying his fucking wages.
We haven't seen Timo in the past how many months? 5 months now? Right? But he'll be happy. He's still picking up his 165K a week, right? So yeah. Yeah, matter.
Yeah. Okay. So, predictions for the match today.
Now, I'm going to say we're going to lose 2-1. No confidence about this because West Ham are going to be up for a rough and tumble.
Yeah, they're on the beach already, aren't they? Though? But
they are on the beach, yeah.
Who's on the beach? West Ham?
Yeah.
No. And Arsenal.
To tell the truth, right? West Ham always turns up for us. Right? This is their big final. You get what I'm saying, for West Ham, right? Yeah. And don't forget, right? If they beat us, right, they'll get the 16 position trophy, right? And we'll get we'll be in 17, right? So to tell the truth, guys, right? This game, right? I've been saying ever since we beat Frankfurt, the rest of the league games are turning into preseason. Exhibition friendlies. That's going to be, I guess, for Ange either to test out the players, or for the players just to have a run out and have a go, right? That's why I'm saying, if maybe we put out a really young, right, hungry squad, right, that needs to a team first 11 that wants to prove something to Ange that if anything happens along the way to the final, they are worth a shout out, right? Maybe we might give them a surprise result, right? And at best, it could be 1-1, like what Nate says.
Yeah.
And it's true, right? Porter is shit at the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's a strange thing, because I'm looking at their lineup and I'm thinking, bloody hell, they should be. It's like when I look at our lineup, we should be better. They should be in a better position in the league. I mean, they're attacking 3, not including Fulkrug up front, but Bowen, Paqueta, and Kudos. That's some decent players there.
But I think Jens Bowen has been injured for quite some time. I think he's just recently coming back, right? And don't forget, Mikel Antonio tried to commit suicide when playing Lopetegui ball. So
that was
that's the sad part. Yeah, and a lot of people saying he might never play ball again. You know what I'm saying? He has to focus on recovering. That's all, right? Yeah. So, but it comes down to West Ham, right? We know West Ham, guys, right? For us, this West Ham has always been a very difficult game for us, you know, and especially I don't know, that 3-0 lead turning out to be a 3-3. That still sticks in my mind for a long time.
Yeah, that was that Mourinho?
Yeah, that was Mourinho.
How the bloody hell did he let that happen? That is. That's fucking unbelievable.
I know.
When was that?
We switched off. I think that was in 2021.
Yeah, 2020, October. Yeah.
2020, yeah. 2020. Yeah.
We had, what's his name, playing as well? Gareth Bale, Son.
Yeah. Kane.
Yeah. But yeah, then it was Bergwijn, Undom Bailey, and Sissoko in the middle. So yeah. Sanchez scored an own goal. Lovely. Loris got 4.8 out of 10 as a score. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, I know, maybe, let's not say it, let the youngsters go out there, have their run out, show what they can do, right? To at least try to get a spot in the final, but, for the Europa League. That's how I can say it. Right? Yeah. I would love to see more.
Yeah.
I would love to see more in Scarlet up there, but being Ange, I don't think you ever see the rest of them playing, right?
So Mr. K saying I have no hope our team will win today, and Nate saying it's been a funny old season across the board. That is very, very, very true. Nate predicts 1-1.
Yeah.
No, to tell the truth, right? If you're an old Spurs fan like us, right, it's not funny. We've seen it before. Nothing has changed, right? The only bright side since Poch came in, right? Poch gave us some hope of actually bringing up the levels, right? After what Redknapp had done, right? And of course, you know, our great chairman wanted us to have a win now manager because all the fans wanted a win now manager, and he got us a win now manager, but didn't give him the players to win now, right? And we went through that cycle over and over again, and now we come up to Ange, where Ange has literally, right, divided the fan base 100 right down the center, right, and caused all this chasm between the fans. But there was only one positive I see from this, right? How can I say it? The Levy out movement has gone stronger. That's all, because of Ange. I love him for that. He created that, right? So big up to Ange. And you know, oh, the other thing I got to say, right? The only other thing during that Bodo game that I was very happy about is their jersey was yellow, right? And the scarves they were carrying were yellow, and it had blue wordings, right? It reminded me the change for Spurs kind of, you know. So we had a very big Levy out presence there during that game.
So the last time we beat West Ham at their place was in 2019.
Was it that long?
Yes, at their place.
Was it? Is it the new stadium or
yeah, that was at the yeah.
Not even
when did they move in? 2012 or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did they move in 2012 to the Olympic Stadium?
Well, because it was London 2020. Oh no, it was London 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Olympics. So it was probably a year or so afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely at the running track.
Yeah. Their old ground is called the Bolin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a scary place to go. I only went there once, never again.
Yeah.
But, nice saying. I mean, the way so many teams are underachieving. Yeah, that is true. But if you look at United as well, and they're pretty much in the final now, aren't they?
Yeah.
You can't see Bilbao scoring 3 goals. Well, stranger things have happened, but I can't see them scoring 3 goals. But
predictions for today's game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said 2-1. We were going to lose. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I got the feeling. I've got no expectations of anything today, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if we get away there with a point or 3. You know, it won't hurt. Yeah,
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Now, for me, my prediction is going to be simple, right? I hope we put out a youth team out there. Maybe we'll give them a shot. We will draw 1-1 or 2-2.
Yeah.
So I see it. But if we put out our normal first 11 that goes out there, right? We're gonna get beaten because these guys aren't gonna be in for it because they're gonna fear injury. They're gonna fear this. They're gonna fear that, and their mind will be on the Thursday game. So for me, is that if we put in the youth, right? I'll give my deluded prediction. Yeah, 4-2 Spurs win, right?
Oh.
Yeah. But if we put out our regular 11, you know, the minor mix around and all that, most probably we'll lose 2-1, 1-0, right? That kind of scenario, right? Because we always lose with a single goal, right? So
yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go 2-2.
Desmond.
I have a feeling that he'll obviously massively change the team, and I have a feeling that some of these players are going to think, you know what, I can play in that semi-final, so they might lift up their game and hope to be picked for that. So that's what I'm hoping for. But Mr. K says, regardless of what I think, I predict a 4-1 Spurs win.
Yeah, that's what Mr.
K lives around West Ham territory, doesn't he? I thought he was.
I'm not sure. You got to ask him, Mr. K. Are you still staying near West Ham?
Somewhere, wasn't it? I seem to remember.
Yeah.
But, so that'll be interesting. And now we've already spoken about this, but Thursday's game. So I've gone Vicario, Udogie, VDV, Romero, Porro, Bentancur, Basuma, Maddison, Odegaard, Solanke, and Johnson.
I think Richie will still play.
You reckon? Yeah.
I think he'll stick to the same 11 that went out on the home ground, right? Unless there are some injuries that we do not know, whether Solanke can play or whether Madison can play. That's the only two question marks there, right? But of course, if Madison, whether Madison, right? So yeah, and Solanke, because they were the two people taken off for the knocks, right? I think he'll stick with the same 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bit stubborn like that, isn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Richie was great, but he was playing on the wing, wasn't he? So he's like, he had to come in for everything. All right, yeah, he played a great game, but
he has when he was at Watford and when he was at Everton, he did play a lot as a not a winger, but an inverted forward as on the left. So
yeah.
My local team decent support then when I was young because of way too much racism. Yeah,
there always was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Twinned with Lazio.
Sorry.
Twinned with Lazio.
Yeah. Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, but guys, the thing is that now we're coming to this game, right? Like I said, if our players do turn up, right, and put in a shift and show the heart to try to get a result there, I think we will get a result there. Right? And I think this is the last chance saloon for any one of these players to actually be able to reach a final, right?
Yeah.
Unless they leave the club, and of course, a lot of players that leaves our club, right, goes on and wins something else somewhere else, right? Guys, don't be surprised, right? Even Emerson Royale, right, is going to get 2 trophies this season with AC Milan.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Oh dear, yeah. So, predictions for the game on Thursday.
I'll go the same again. 3-1 win for Spurs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be like positively deluded, right? Whether Zen or I'm not Zen, right? Spurs gonna win 4-2. Woohoo!
What you
I'm going to go for a 2-1 loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
They'll go. Yeah. They'll be 2-0 up in the first half, and we'll score in the last 10 minutes, or last 5 minutes, to break their little Norwegian hearts.
Well, they've got to come at us, haven't they? So
yeah,
as long as we're sensible.
Yes, right? Most probably they will go 2-0 up, right? And then it'll drag on into extra time, and then in the last minute of the in extra time we'll score 1. Yeah, maybe that's the drama we'll get, right? Okay. Or maybe we'll go up there, and to tell the truth, right? Mani was on the stream with us on Thursday for a short period, right? He was saying even Arsenal's gone up there and done a job. So if we do have that confidence and go up there and do a job, that's all, right? Karabakh beat them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I remember back in the days when Chelsea went up there to play Tromso, which I'm not sure that's a little bit more north than Bodo, and there was snow on the pitch, and they beat them 4-0, and I don't think it's something that we need to really, as you say, with the PTSD with the fans, but I think we should be too strong for them, and I think we'll go through on aggregate. As Nate says, they are strong at home. That's true, but they're only sitting. Where is it? Are
they top of their league? That's the question.
4th in their league at the moment.
They're sitting 4th in the Norwegian League. Yeah. So
Now it's only just kicked off, but
yeah, I think the Norwegian League just kicked off recently, right?
Yeah, they've only played 4 games, and they've won 3 and drawn 1.
1-3 and drawn 1, so they've not lost yet. So that's a good one. Right now, guys, we have to be positive for this game. That's all, right?
Yeah.
Because at our home, the pre-game and the support, it was a ruckus, right? We showed what the Spurs fans can actually be, right? When we are at that juncture. But now we're going away with only 400 fans or so, right? I'm not sure whether their home fans will be different, but a stadium is a stadium. And when the home fans get into that kind of a mood or scenario, right, that they will be the 12th man. But if we go out there, right, and score that early goal, right, and silence their fans, then maybe, that will be a indication for us to, be celebrating really soon.
I did
watch or reaching the final. Yeah, not celebrating for reaching the final.
Yeah. I did watch. I think I was watching it sort of on and off their game against Lazio in Bodo, and I wasn't very impressed with their fans. They weren't really that loud. I don't think it's that. I'm not sure if it's just Norwegian culture, maybe, I don't know, but they didn't seem to be. There was the normal Scandi chants, very monotonous, etc., etc. But they didn't seem to be showing a lot of passion. And I think at the Lane on Thursday as well, they waved their scarves around a little bit. I didn't hear them.
No, we couldn't hear them. To tell you the truth, right? Stel was saying when we're 3-0 up, right, the Levy out chants were out, but I couldn't hear it on the the TV screen and all that. So that means there were a lot of things being covered up, if I'm not mistaken. So come on, guys. How many fans did they have? 1,000, 2,000 in the stadium, right? And we've got 50,000 fans. We would drown them.
3,000.
If they have 3,000, we drowned them, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We drowned.
And if you get a team like, I don't know, West Ham, Chelsea, someone like that, they bring 3,000. They usually drown us out.
Yeah, because we're shit.
So gently put, Eugene.
No. Imagine, right? On Thursday, right? With all that ruckus going on, and they scored that first goal in the first minute, right? What would happen to the stadium? Their fans will be the loudest at that time, right? So yeah.
And our players will fall over.
Yeah. But the weird part is, right? Their fans are so confident, right? They're going to get through with that 2-goal deficit.
Yeah. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got their players back. The the two who were. I
think it's 6 of them.
Defenders.
3 suspensions, and 3 injuries.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. The injuries part, I'm not sure who will be coming back, but I'm very sure Patrick Burke will be back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and the other 2 suspended first teamers will be back. So, so let's see how they perform with their more or less full squad against us.
Yeah.
Remember while we were doing the watch along, right? It was a very weird thing. They did all that simple mistakes that that like we did when we were back. They gave us the ball, but we didn't capitalize on it. There was one part when Guy was saying, "Why are they so shitty?" Right? You throw in the ball, right, and the player hits the ball back out. That's like basic shitness levels.
Yeah. Well, what Dan was saying as well is that this is the worst team that we've ever met in a semi-final.
That's true.
And I was racking my brain thinking, I can't, when we played against Sheffield United a few years ago in the League Cup, they pissed all over us for about half of the game, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I was trying to think if that is true. So I went looking at the Peace Cup, I went looking at the Audi Cup. Oh no, all of the teams that we played were, it was a lot closer, and we were a lot but they were decent teams. Whereas Bodo, I don't know where the arrogance comes from that they think they can turn us over.
The weird thing is that, right, they were comfortable with the 2-0 loss.
Yeah.
They didn't actually pressure us until they were 3-0 down.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And when they pressured us, of course, it was quite not as sustained pressure and all that kind of scenario, but they did score that 1 goal because our defense is still shit, no matter how you see it. Right? So,
yeah. No, you've got to be disappointed to concede that goal.
Yeah.
But I think we can take some heart from the performance in Frankfurt, Now, I know that they were very wasteful, Frankfurt, but still, we did defend pretty. I mean, if it had been a Techie Key or whatever his name is on the end of the 3 chances that Rasmus Christensen had, he is a right back. Yeah, I think the story may have been a little bit different.
That's why, right? Remember when we drew 1-1 at home, and all of us were doom and gloom at Frankfurt.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it was all doom and gloom at Frankfurt. But of course, against Frankfurt, right, we got that 1 penalty and then we held on to it, right? And that was the pragmatic side that we actually wanted to see Ange have in his bag of tricks and all that.
Yes,
right?
His armory.
But the only thing is that I didn't understand. I don't say I didn't understand, but the thing is that we were 3-0 up while we were making the changes, right? I understand the second half. You know, when the first half ended, the second half started. He straight away took off Richarlison and brought on was it Tell?
Tell, yeah.
Right, Tell for Richarlison. That one I understood a bit because maybe he wanted to protect Richarlison and not let him get injured or something like that, because he's going to use him on the coming Thursday, right? And once we started to make more changes, right, our levels dropped.
Yes,
that's how I saw it.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it. Yeah.
That is
just hope we're doing a lot of shooting practice in the last, this week and the coming week, because some of them shots going over the bar the other night were a bit worrying.
Yeah, so we are, mate.
Oh yeah, remember Bissouma had a shot, and I was saying, will it reach the high street?
Yes, we thought it was. Yeah, we thought it was out on the high road. There was a couple of them.
Yeah,
that wasn't.
That's what I said to Sarah. I said in the old stadium that would have been down the high road. Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Straight over to Paxton or whatever.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Any other business, guys?
No, not for me.
I'm just looking at the transfer rumours thread on Spurs community, and it is so quiet considering it's almost the end of the season.
No, I think you know why? I think it's because at the moment, right, the Spurs PR machine has stopped because they are more focused on the Europa League, number one, and then big up Daniel.
You're right, Daniel.
Hope you're doing well. How I see this now is, right, because we don't forget, right, the biggest news at the moment now is Don Peritici is coming back. That's how I see it. Don is coming back, so I guess let's see what happens from there, because you can't be giving out PR transfer moves and this and that when there's a new hit coming in for the transfers, right? We don't even know whether Ange is still going to be here. We don't know even whether Money is going to be here. And of course, the biggest question, right? We don't even know whether Ange is going to still be here, right? And don't forget, right? A lot of people say he'll get sacked if we lose and not get into the final, right? But the thing, I don't see that happening now.
No, he'll give him to the end of the season.
Yeah, he'll be here to
only 3 more games. Well, three more games.
It doesn't matter anymore, right? And the other part is that even if he wins a trophy, will he stay? You know, because the way I see Ange at the moment, right, he's like he doesn't like the fans at all. No. I don't know why. You know, so he keeps like saying, you know why we got that early goal is because the stadium was rocking, the fans were behind the boys. You know, that's why we got that early goal. So I don't know, but the thing is that if he does stay, I will give him his chance. Right, if he wins the Europa League, I'll give him 5 games to 10 games to see what he turns around. Maybe he'll learn his lesson, and maybe he will adapt a bit, get in more senior players, right, with Paratici around. Because I did see some rumors that we are starting to be linked to some Italian players. Right?
Yeah,
because Paratici always shops in Italy for defenders.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, I was just thinking though, because it's just a rumors part of the forum. So I would have thought that they'll be throwing, people on Twitter be throwing rumors out, and we all know that half of it is bullshit. But it just seems so quiet. The only thing that is still going on is this Tyler Dibbling from Southampton. So it's
Tyler Dibbling, Liam Delap. Who else you'll be linked to, right? We're linked to 20,000 players every summer transfer windows, right?
Yeah. And he's not going to be ready anyway. He's 17, 18 years old. I don't think he's going to be...
Dibbling, I think it's 18, 19.
18, is he? Okay.
18, 19. But he'll be the perfect fit, right? You're going to have Dribbling, you're going to have Gray, you're going to have Bergval. Who else are we going to have, right? We got Oderbear there, who's in his early 20s, right?
Yeah.
Just change the whole squad. Yeah, change the whole squad into under 23 squad.
Yeah. Donnelly's coming back. Divine. Vuskovic will obviously be.
Oh yeah, the 17-year-old boy who's playing where in Durgarden or something.
Belgium,
like that. Or Belgium League, right?
Yeah, he plays for Westerlo. Yeah.
Oh, Westerlo, okay, right. Westerlo in the Belgium League, right? Yeah.
But depends whether Levy's going to give us all that Champions League money. That might be a bit of an incentive.
No. The Champions League money ain't coming yet, right?
I know.
Going to the hotels, isn't it?
Comes in the end of the season. If we now we're to talk about the Europa League money, no Champions League money coming in.
Yeah. But one thing I have heard as well in regards to Paratici coming back is that he's going to have a massive say in the new manager.
Yeah. No, guys, the truth, right? When first Paratici came in, right, I was a bit skeptical about him because, from Juventus, and, whenever Levy admires someone, I really don't like it, because, right?
Yeah.
The traits that he admires is not football traits, right? Right? It's the scamming traits, the lying traits and all that he likes, Paratici and whatever he's done, right? But there is one valid point with Paratici is he is a footballing person.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I see, that Paratici is a football person. That's all. Apart from Scott Munn, Lange, Vinay, all these guys aren't football people. Maybe Lange a bit, but
Langer is a decent scout from his days at Villa. He did pull out a few gems.
Yeah, but the problem is that even Villa got rid of him. And why are we taking rejects from Villa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, and now we're taking a reject from Arsenal. Maybe Arsenal's a bit higher up, but yeah. I told you I don't want no shit from Arsenal, right? So
yeah.
And later, most probably we'll get in Edu, right?
I fucking hope not.
Yeah. Watch Levy. Then later Levy will start being something like Vincent Tan, right? The Cardiff owner. I think it's time for us to change the jersey to red.
Yeah.
And walk out to North London forever. Yeah.
No, we will all gang up together, burn that stadium down.
Oh, anything else you want to chat about then, guys?
All right. I'll be doing the West Ham game watch along later. Cool. I think about 9:15 or maybe 9:20, right before the game starts. I'll start
your
doing
time.
it then. Yeah. My time, Malaysian time. That will be about what? 2? Is it 2? Sorry. Yeah. 2 p.m. UK time. Yeah. 2:15 or 2:20 UK time. I'll be doing the watch along, right? Since I'm watching it, I must well just do the watch along at the same time. Because it's nice to do watch along. It's nice to watch a game with a fellow Spurs fan, and at least we have a chat. Yeah, and the best part is, right, this game doesn't matter anymore. Most probably we'll be talking about other things, right? And most probably we'll be going more in depth into the Bodo game and maybe analyzing the Bodo game that we played against them, right? And of course, my next question is that any of you guys booked your tickets to Bilbao yet?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think. I think if we do win it, then I'll probably book a ticket to London to go to the parade.
Yeah, I'll see you there most probably, right? If we do win it, right, I'll try to hook and crook, scan my way all the way to the parade.
But Bilbao apparently is a real pain in the ass to get to.
Really?
Yeah, they're saying that
you need to get to Malaga. Or, you need to get to Malaga or something before you can drive up there or something like that. There's no.
Yeah, I think you can go to. You can fly into Portugal as well.
All right.
Into Porto, but then it's God knows how many hours, and I don't know. But it's an interesting point from Mr. K, considering how much hate Ange gets from everywhere. Oh, hello, Yuan. How you doing, mate?
June. Yep.
June. Sorry.
Yep.
So considering how much hate Ange gets from everywhere, isn't there some room for respect for how he's handled it got us more or less to a final, and how many players have come out showing their support. I'd agree with you there. It got us more or less to a final, and how many players have come out showing their support. But I don't know if you watch his press conferences. Seems to be half the time he's having a dig at the press, and the other half he's having a dig at the fans.
So yeah, he probably got a lot of it on himself with his stubbornness. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not sure that I respect him for how he's handled that. I have to say I respect him for getting us to a final, although I have a feeling that second leg in Frankfurt was more to do with the players saying, you know, I'm not going to bomb down the wing and goal hang. But yeah, it's an interesting thought. But so Nate says no. Okay, that's fair enough, Nathan. He's full of shit. But Mr. K comes back and says, I'd have more digs against the fans and the press, to be honest. The fans have been awful and the journalists have been snakes. Yeah, I'd agree. Most journalists are snakes, but I don't think that the fans have been awful.
Yeah, I think journalists have always got in for Spurs fans because it's an easy target. Yes. Yeah. Can we start winning cups? They'll always pick on us.
Yeah, I think that the fans, the away fans, who I would class as the proper fans, they pay money they've travelled hundreds, thousands of miles a season, and they didn't turn on him until it was a couple of games ago, wasn't it? So I don't think that they've been dreadful. I mean, you're always going to get the Twitterati and people like me who, you know, have a big mouth and sit on my sofa and shout at the television. That's just part and parcel of the social media era.
If you look going into the new year, we had four tournaments we were in, you know, and then the slide began. You know, we're tilting at 4. We're never going to get champions, but we could get Champions League qualification. And all of a sudden, the big slide happened. You know, there was disaster after disaster. We went down the table. We went out the FA Cup. We went out the League Cup. We went, you know, it was a dramatic fall from grace, just like that.
Yeah.
I think it's within that 1 week, right? That, you know, we were kicked out of the League Cup and the FA Cup within 3 days or 4 days, right? We played the League Cup in the midweek and then the FA Cup on a Saturday or Sunday, and then bye-bye.
We had some great wins. We beat Man United in the Cup. We beat City in the Cup, you know, and it's like, it's all for nothing, you know. It's like, you know, you lose to Villa.
Mr. K, Levy has already said, right, after the Conte and Mourinho kind of managers, we ain't going to get a Zidane kind of level manager anymore. He can't handle the ego that he can't be challenged, right? So I know, Mr. K.
But do you think there's a possibility of obviously Don Paratici moves in the Italian circles? There might be a possibility of someone like Inzaghi coming, or maybe who's the Atalanta coach? I can't remember him, but he seems to be
Gasperini.
Is it Gasperini?
Yeah.
Do you think the next boss will be Italian? That's my question.
I saw a rumor this morning about Javi or whatever his name was.
I don't think we'll go back to the Italian side, right? Because the Spurs fans can't take that kind of football, you know. So June says Gasperini. Yeah, Atalanta is Gasperini. To tell you, Spurs fans, right, have to have this change of mindset. It doesn't matter what style of effing football you play, right? Just as long as you go out there, win something, right? Win the games and win trophies. And that's how you build that winning mentality. Right? We've seen all the fantastic football throughout the Spurs history, right? What have we won, right? That's why when I keep saying it comes back to this scenario again. After the first 10 games of that brilliant run that we had under Ange, right? And we came out with this PR stunt and said that we got our Tottenham back. I went on a freaking rant. I said, I don't want this Tottenham because this Tottenham hasn't won shit, right? In so many years. And the worst part is, right, I love the Cubs because the trophies are, to tell you, how did I become a Tottenham fan, right? It wasn't because of the league title wins and all that. It was because of the Cubs, right? In the 80s, in the 80s when we won 81, 82, 84, right? The European, one FA, was it 2 FA Cups? a European Cup and all that, then I'll say, let's move to the next level. You get what I'm saying? The next level is that we need to win the league, guys. We haven't won the league in 64 years.
Yeah.
That's the target I want. Right? And then when Enoch came in, then I thought that would be the catalyst, because Sugar says he doesn't have the money to bring us to the levels that we need to be, right? After taking over from Scholar, right? But then, of course, we get conned, and then we've been dragged on for the past 25 years, one trophy, and that's why it makes Spurs fans desperate for a trophy, right? It doesn't even matter whether we get relegated. That's how I feel, guys, right? That's how I feel. I don't even care if we got relegated this season, just as long as we win a trophy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we are 17th, right? And we are 2 games away, right, from lifting a trophy, right? And I tell you, I don't care if we're 17, 16, 13, 14, right? It doesn't matter to me anymore. The league is out of the window. The most important thing that we have to put on that, on the table now, it's that trophy. That's all. And then, of course, with the trophy, right? And to tell the truth, I would love to play Manchester United. I would love to beat them, and I would love to rub it into Manchester United's noses.
I fear playing Manchester United due to the fact that they have winning ingrained, or maybe not so much.
No, but Jens, imagine, right? If we go there and beat them, we take that away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
We take that away from
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of unfair. Again, a lot of the Twitterati taking the piss out of Newcastle fans celebrating winning the cup. I mean, Jesus Christ, how pathetic is that you're having a pop at another team from, I mean, obviously Arsenal, because we fucking hate Arsenal. But, seeing Spurs fans go, oh, look at them celebrating a League Cup. Fuck off. We do exactly the same. It's
truth, right? 16 years, going on to 17 years, we have not won a single trophy, right? Yeah. I mean, an actual trophy, not like a Tiger Cup or an Audi Cup, right? Or Teapot Cup, right? I don't know. Most important is that.
Peace Cup.
The Peace Cup, Peace, man.
Yeah, Peace Cup, yeah.
I think that was when we were actually scouting Sonny as a 7-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
When we won the Peace Cup in Korea.
No. That's when they plant the seeds for Yang to come here.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, planting the seed. I understand what you did there. So, you think it was Robbie Keane or Freddie Canute?
I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't have any of those traits.
But yeah, mate says, United will get a nailed on penalty in the final against us, whatever happens. Probably. Considering how badly this season's gone, I actually believe we can win that cup. Sod United. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That would be
we must believe, guys. The fans must believe we can do it. It doesn't matter whether it's Bilbao. Why I said I didn't want Bilbao, because Bilbao will be having home ground advantage with their home fans. And usually when we play away against a home team, right, we suck.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember you said that a few weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. So I would rather be Manchester United, because Manchester United will be away too. We will be away too. Right. So yeah. But the only disadvantage is that Manchester United has already beaten Bilbao there at Bilbao.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that was their only win in Bilbao. So then it'll be our turn to win at Bilbao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very true what Nathan says. United in the Champions League is good for business. In other words, for Sky and the Premiership, and keeping the sponsors coming, because every fucker's heard of Man United, haven't they?
Yeah, but Nate, right? If we do meet Manchester United in the finals, right? Manchester United will be the favorites, right? And if Spurs win, right, it'll be a very good business for the bookies.
I have to say something.
Imagine in Asia, right? Imagine in Asia, right?
Yeah.
The favorites will be Manchester United, because there are about 100 million Manchester United fans in Asia. Right? Yeah. They all be betting on Manchester United win. Simple as that, right?
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, I'm going to credit that to Scott Munn, right? Because of his Asian connections when we win the cup.
But I thought something that was interesting is that we had a Spanish referee in our game, and the Bilbao versus Manchester was Norwegian.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is, with all of the countries that you could choose from.
Yeah.
It seems strange that you've got a referee from one of the team, or a referee from the country that one of the teams is playing in the other semi-final.
Yeah, you could construe that as a conspiracy of some sort.
What about this coming leg? Will it be the same referees again, or they will change it?
I don't think so. I'm not sure who's been. Let me have a look, see if they
usually do the both.
Yeah, but imagine, right? Imagine if it's Manchester United and Spurs in the final, and then we get an English referee.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we get what's his name, Oliver, then you know that it's going to be a Man United win.
Yeah.
So there's no mention of the referee as yet.
No,
they haven't. The powers that be hasn't decided who's going to win yet.
The powers that be. What you mean? Bet365 and William Hill.
No. Those they are not the powers that be, bro. SBO bet. They are the powers that be.
Yeah, that's true.
Most probably that's why West Ham is going to win tonight. Oh shit.
Okay, then, guys. Unless you got anything else, I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, I've got to get moving on. Things to do.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Hope your missus is doing well, right, Kev?
Thank you, Eugene.
So please like and subscribe. RickyVillaTV, Chelsea Spurs, and of course the one and only Spurs Wasian TV.
Yeah.
Eugene will be doing a watch along later on today, and please come and have a look. And again, and it's always we always have a good laugh. We always have a good chat and stuff like that. So Mr. K says, leave you out. Nathan says, later, gents, have a good one. Come on, you Spurs. And on that final note, I would like to say,
leave you
out.
Okay.
Question.